Everyone talks about how studying in France is affordable, low tuition fees, scholarships, and the European lifestyle. It all sounds perfect. But no one will prepare you how confusing and mentally and physically exhausting this journey can be, especially even before you reach France. This video is meant to prepare you for your France journey. So let's get started. Hi everyone, I am Chavi and I am a master's student living in France, and this channel is all about unfiltered and real side of living and studying in France. If you want practical and honest insights, welcome. Let's start with money, because this is where most of the students get their first shock. Yes, tuition fees is relatively low in France compared to other countries, but your actual expenses don't start with tuitions. They start the moment you get your admission. You need to pay your security deposit, which is like 2-3 months of rent. Your CAF housing aid doesn't start immediately. So for the first few months, you pay full rent out of your pocket. Then there are some expenses that people don't usually talk about, which is health insurance, your visa validation fees, transport passes, bank charges, SIM card, consultancy, winter clothes, basic household stuff, etc. And when you add all this up, your first month in France can easily cost up to 2,000 to 3,000 euro even in the first month before even starting your class properly. And I don't see people on the internet talking enough about this. This lack of clarity can cause panic later. But honestly, money wasn't even the hardest part for me. It was finding someone who I can trust during the application process. Most students depends heavily on education consultants, and naturally I did too. Assume that the information you are getting is neutral and in your best interest. But what a lot of students don't realize that these consultants work on commission. That means they're often tied to specific universities, so their recommendations can be limited and biased. You're only shown a small set of options and not a full picture. And the worst part is, once your application process starts, a lot of these consultancies tend to disappear. And suddenly you are on your own, you're figuring out everything on your own, you're Googling stuff, figuring out visa, finances, housing timelines, loans, and etc. That uncertainty, according to me, causes more panic than the actual move itself. And this exact confusion is something I genuinely wish I had handled it better when I was applying. One thing I've learned through this process is that never rely on one consultant where your future is involved. For this, Gyandan has a free consultant finder tool which helps students connect with verified and transparent study abroad consultants. Instead of being pushed towards a handful of universities, you can actually compare multiple consultants based on their experience, reviews, and area of expertise. What I really like is that the matching is based on your goal, whether that's studying in France, doing an MBA, or targeting specific European programs. And this tool is completely free for students, which means you're not getting pressured into committing or paying upfront just to get unbiased guidance. They also don't stop at admissions, and they also support students with visas, education loans, scholarship, and pre-departure guidance. And I think these are the areas where students feel most lost after the application is done. So if you're planning to study abroad or you're already in the process, I strongly suggest you to check this out. I've linked the tool in the description below and in the pinned comment. Once you're in France, there are a lot of struggles that no one really talks about, such as CAF getting delayed. That delay can take months. Also, you're expected to understand the system that you have never interacted before, such as bank, health insurance, university administration. That being said, studying abroad can genuinely change your life, but only if you stop romanticizing this and start preparing for it properly. Ask questions, compare advice, plan financially and mentally. That's it for me in this video. I hope this video helped you even a little bit. If it did, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you have any questions, you can ask in the comments, or you can connect me through my Instagram. See you in the next one. Bye bye.